In your mind, who do you think are the type of people that this program will work best for? I mean, I'm very sure that it will not fit everybody, right?
Right.
So what do you think are some
Yeah.
of the characteristics that are required of a person to be able to do a program like this?
Um, First, of course, the person must be willing to be open
Mm.
to explore these various um, elements and probably tools, um, and be willing to also do the work lah. I would say like going and listen, watching the video and writing notes is one thing, but the next is thinking, okay, which one is relevant for me and which one could be relevant for me. And like you say, practice, right? Yeah, the first try could be awkward and panicky, but then with more practice, then there comes the fluency. So yeah, first must be willing or be open to might not need to agree to every single thing, but yeah, be open to explore and try to understand. The second is be willing to take the action or apply it for the benefit. Otherwise, it will be just another lesson or another certificate that is just it, right?
Yeah.
But what kind of people, as in what kind of situation that person is in?
So how do you find the interaction? Was that what sticks out in your mind in terms of the nature, the value of such a personalized context?
Yeah. Well, of course, it's really appreciated, right? Because if you go to a hundred people seminar, then you're just one of the hundred, right? But
Mm.
if this kind of setting is as if, like, I'm getting all the attention in the world, which is like, perfect, and and it's tailored, right? Like you say, it's tailored. Not like we just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it could be one, then six, then eight, right? Depending on my situation. So I think that's the ideal situation for me.
Mm.
And with regards to the Zoom, I think it's also useful because of this recording, right? I can play back, make it speed up, skip, and whatever on the parts that I want, right? That is also useful. And I do like the weekly session because it kind of also pays me, right? Because sometimes I do realize in my past learning experience, when it's on my own time, own target, sometimes I kind of lag behind. So if I know, okay, I'm meeting Stuart on Tuesday, then I need to do something on the weekend before, like to prep or maybe reflection or questions to bring out questions, right? Because you don't come into a session just empty-handed. And one thing I really appreciate is also the promptness of it. If you realize, right, I leave a comment, then within either the next hour or the next morning, then I got a reply, or when I text, and I got this input. So it feels as if really you are there along the way, right? So that's also, I think, what prompt me to be putting effort also, because I will feel very paiseh if you are that invested, but I'm not, right? In fact, I'm the one paying money. So yeah, so it's kind of pressure also.
Well, I'm glad that you think about it that way. I didn't know that it had that kind of an effect, which, yeah, we had this discussion previously also about to what extent it becomes badgering you versus,
Mm.
gently supporting you in the direction that you need. So, yeah, I'm glad that, that was a helpful part of the press process.
Okay, the first impression on NLP is really on communication, right?
Mm.
And that was one area that I wanted to work on.
Okay.
And especially that I've completed my formal education just like 6 months before, or end of last year actually. So I had a first half year of freedom shaking leg, and as much as I enjoy that, I got to a point of a bit of restlessness of asking, okay, so what's next, right?
Uh,
And with the CB, yeah, spending a lot of time with myself, going through other internal personal development area, then I thought, okay, probably I can use something that is more tangible, or I can use externally, not only just working on myself internally. So there goes the communication. And then going into it, or already probably first few sessions into it, then I realized, oh, actually that's not the main thing, or not the first thing that we touch upon, because we touch upon goals, perceptual positions, and all those. So it kind of relates back to this internal work that I was also doing hand in hand with. And it's kind of like, oh, okay, then it works together lah, and probably expedite or enhance the result, I suppose.
Okay. So
So
given your experience so far, what do you think was some of your biggest benefits of having gone through what we've gone through so far?
Okay, what I can say for sure, the most obvious one for me is the state, or the ability to summon the state that is appropriate or useful for me at that particular point of time, which I used to be influenced a lot on my emotion. So if when I'm feeling down, then probably it will just go downhill, or it stays down for some time. But with this, then I learned to, okay, I'm feeling lousy. Doesn't mean I need to go and get a tub of ice cream and eat. I can sort of like bring up a more useful state at that point of time, right? I used to think that is like distracting and not healthy way. That is one kind of belief. But I think throughout our conversation, you say, well, the mind believe the things that you tell it, right? Why not lie to it, but in a useful way, right? So I thought, okay, that can be done. Right. So yeah.
Okay. So some of the outcomes you mentioned, one of it, and I couldn't read whether that was just an illustration or whether that was real. In other words, the ability for you to change your state actually has made your nutritional choices better.
Yes. Yes.
Are there any other things that has spilled over to?
Okay, one example is when I'm feeling lousy, or maybe not lousy, not only lousy, like maybe bored or whatever, then oftentimes I'll resolve to watching Netflix, grab a pack of potato chip, right? But I sort of like replace it with either going out for a walk, do some reflection, or watch some videos of from the website. That is on me, right? But the actions that also affect others, right? When we talk about the perceptual position that we ask, okay, when you say this, how the other person react. But if you say something else, or you respond differently, then what do you think that the other person will respond, right? So that also changed the way I interact with people, like not so strongly holding to, like, okay, you got to listen to me, that kind of, or you must follow what I say, not that kind of a clashing interactions, I would say. So it's more like, okay, tell me more, right? What do you mean by this? Can you explain to me? Let me understand. So that affects my interactions.
Right. That actually also improve your interactions at the workplace. Am I right to say that?
Yes, and also with friends, not necessarily just the formal one, but with also friends, right? When friend tell me, I couldn't sleep last night. I wake up every 2 hours. Then I'll say, okay, what do you do differently? That is this the first time this happened? Probably not the most ideal conversation yet, because I kind of go to the solution state, right, rather than ask a person to explore more and find his or her own solution. But it kind of like a transition state from me listening to the problem and straight away giving the answer, because normally the other friend was just say, oh, do you try essential oil, do you try hot bath or whatever. I didn't go there right away, right? I kind of asked a bit. I'll say it's a better improvement.
In this entire syllabus, although it's just the
Mm.
basic syllabus, there were quite a number of tools and strategies that we adopted. But which one do you feel was the most um, helpful for you?
uh I would say the very first thing that I've used myself was the anchor. That was the first thing that I find really useful straight away practically.
Mm.
The other thing is probably the also the language pattern,
Ah,
and okay, I'm not sure what's the right tools to place this in. It was this conversation, performance conversation, right? And I was giving my assessment to tell the person, look, just recall where you were 3 years ago and you thought you couldn't handle that, and think of where you are right now, and you have managed or done it pretty well with what you thought you couldn't done then, and probably you can just recall this again when you meet another thing next time that you think, again, I couldn't handle it. Just think to yourself, right, if I can do that, then why not the next new thing? So
what's the
I
outcome of
think it's
the conversation?
the person will kind of like the expression or maybe realization strikes the person. I can sense that this person feel a bit more, how to say, maybe
Encourage.
the posture a bit more. Yeah.
Okay, that's also quite a useful insight because on one hand, yes, you can change your own states, but it
Mm,
looks like you're also actively applying state management with other people. And of course, as a manager of a team, that's essential because you want to bring out the best in
mm,
other people, right?